What's going on, guys? And today we're going to talk about what if Izuku had the all for one quirk. I hope you guys enjoy. Where we last left off, Izuku just turned into slime to start off the UA Sports Festival, and we pick up after that as Izuku was slithering and pretty much like a snake in a sense, and he was even crawling on walls like a spider because Todoroki freezed the ground. But he looked back and he realized that even though he froze the ground, Izuku was still tailing him. He decided to go a bit faster and pick up the pace, but plus with Izuku's super strength, as he would use his legs to give him a boost, and the fact that the slime was very aerodynamic, he was blitzing past Todoroki, and when the one-pointer showed up, instead of showcasing his strength, he decided to just go past them instead, because he realized it would be kind of smart if, they were to fight if his classmates were to fight the 0 pointers instead of him. And that's pretty much how it would be, pretty much like for most of the obstacles. When he gets to the caverns, he doesn't really care if he falls off because he can just pretty much jump towards top of the pillars. So yeah, he's just like skipping through it. Then we get to the landmines, and even then, it's still like, even if it did blow up, he can just reform himself and continue going. So he's actually the first one to finish. But not only that, he has to wait for everybody else. It wasn't a close call. No, everybody is still at least a course behind them. So after a few minutes, everybody starts showing up again, and then the cavalry battle begins. Midnight explains the cavalry battle is simple. Someone will have a point on their head and basically need 3 people. But the number 1 spot gets 1,000,000, and then the number 2 spot, let's just say for sakes, 500,000, and then goes down from there. And everybody's starting to look at Izuku, but Izuku would look back and ask what they're looking at. Izuku's team wouldn't really change in this one. I'd say it stays exactly the same, so yeah, we're just gonna keep it like that. Now, the way this turns out is going to be way different. You see, Izuku at first is just trying to collect more points. And because of his slime quirk and the fact that he can stretch like rubber, it was really easy to rank up points. But then Ida wanted to showcase a technique he learned. What was it? Turbo something? I don't remember what he called it. But he basically just fucking zooms. And, even though, like, people would assume, yeah, Izuku would have it would have been getting taken away from, but no, it didn't. As a matter of fact, Izuku knew where Ida was going to head towards, so in a sense not breaking the rules, but at the same time kind of breaking the rules, he turned his face into slime, and Todoroki would try and grab it, but he'd grab the wrong bandana. And as he realized that he actually caught around 150 points instead of the 1,000,000 points he would have originally gotten. Now, despite this, he actually ranked up a lot of points enough to continue on to the tournament part. The tournament roster doesn't change at all. I don't really feel like changing it. So let's just continue on to the story. You see, Izuku versus not Shoto, Jesus Christ. I forget his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Purple hair, has an attitude. Actually, as a matter of fact, I could just look it up right now. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I came back. Shinzo. Izuku versus Shinzo, it goes very, it doesn't really go the same as Yujiro or whatever his name is. Tail guy does tell Izuku if he talks, he'll get brainwashed. So Izuku keeps quiet and Shinzo go on. You have such an amazing quirk. You have such a cool quirk, but everybody thought your quirk is super cool, and Izuku would just throw him off the arena. And after that, he would just basically speak, yeah, people think my quirk is cool, but it's only cool for a villain. I take away people's gifts. You think that's cool, Shinzo? I'd give anything to have a quirk like yours. It's really cool. Shinzo kind of realized Izuku and him are on the same boat. Both of their powers can be very easily used as villainy, but even more greatly used for hero work. Izuku continues on to this next fight. Now, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in between, like everybody else's fights, but they don't go any different. It's really up to Izuku versus Todoroki where things start to change. Todoroki would just blast Izuku with a bunch of ice, but Izuku would use his super strength to break it. But unlike in the original show or manga, he doesn't break his hand since the super strength is technically natural to him. He'll then use his legs to boost towards Shoto and then turn into slime. As he does this, he would kind of just slither around to Shoto and like wrapping him up. Shoto would just try and freeze everything, but Izuku, when he realizes that, he would just change back and use super strength to break out of it, and then change again to add more speed. Eventually, Todoroki, instead of Izuku giving a speech, accidentally uses fire and then realizes that Izuku's kind of weak to fire, specifically his slime quirk. Izuku uses super strength to punch the fire away, as he will then begin to laugh as he pouts. Now you're taking me seriously, huh? As you begin to breathe heavily. He will then ask Shoto why he hasn't been using his fire quirk, and Shoto would explain, "I'd rather win with my own quirk, not his." Shoto would look at Endeavor, and Izuku would remember the talk him and Endeavor had earlier. Endeavor asked Izuku to push Shoto to use his flame quirk. As Izuku would then yell out, "It's his quirk, it's your quirk, holy shit, it's your quirk, not his. I don't care whether or not you think that it's his quirk. But if you don't start using your flame quirk, you're gonna lose this entire tournament." Shoto would have a sort of smirk as he'd say, "I'd like to see you try that." And as Izuku would use his super strength plus the slime again and begin doing it the old pony show. But this time taking it more seriously. Todoroki was about to get pushed off the rink when he uses his flame quirk to ward off Izuku. Shoto at this point would realize he kind of uses his flame quirk, and thus he would use his freezer burn attack thing, the thing he did in the anime. I don't know what he called it. Basically, he'd freeze the landscape, then rapidly heat it up to create explosions, and Izuku with his super strength and slime would head straight towards Todoroki. Unlike in the original, Todoroki does lose, but at least it was more fair. Anyway, it doesn't really change from there again, so we'll just go up to Izuku versus Ida. Now, this one's pretty much it's not into Ida's favor. Because even if Izuku didn't have the slime quirk, he still has a super strength quirk and somewhat of the, regenerative shock absorption quirk. This is just bad for Ida, but he tries it anyway. Izuku turns into slime and Ida is just knocked out the ring. He feels bad because he really wanted to win, for Tenya, but you can't win them all. So, next is Izuku versus Bakugo. This one also is a lot more different since, explosions somewhat hurt the slime. I'd say somewhat, it's more of the shock, just like how it was for All Might. I know in the original the explosions weren't really working, but I'll say that the explosions weren't working in the original, Bakugo fought the slime villain because he didn't have enough sweat and it wasn't really strong. This time it is strong, it'll create shockwaves, so yeah. The fight begins. Izuku uses the super strength plus the slime, and Bakugo would just stay one trick pony. And Bakugo doesn't really realize Izuku does technically have 3 quirks: super strength, slime, and shock absorption. And he's gonna realize that soon enough. See, slime on itself would be weak against its explosion quirk, and it does show. Bakugo would use the explosion because of the shockwaves. Izuku's slime body would just begin to ripple, and it would get to a point where Izuku can't just keep up with Bakugo. Bakugo at this point is just taunting Izuku, still calling him worthless, when Bakugo then gets a piece of what Izuku truly has. Izuku would stop the fight and Bakugo would ask what it means. Izuku would then state, "I have 3 quirks, and I'll gladly say this out loud: shock absorption, super strength, and slime. My slime quirk is weak to shock. Now, I've been only using the slime quirk. Bakugo, I'm about to show you what it really means for me to use every bit of my quirk at once." And thus, he does that. He uses all super strength, shock absorption, and slime against Bakugo, and yeah, Bakugo can't keep up. He tries using his explosion quirk, and originally it worked because of the shock, but since he absorbs the shock and gets stronger from it, he basically is just getting monologued. Eventually, Bakugo gets flung into the air, and Bakugo would then yell, "Howitzer, impact!" And yeah, he does the same technique he did, and he would win, but Izuku does get him with a nice right hook to the face, and this will just, knock Bakugo out the ring and then stop the fight. Bakugo get flung up the ring, Midnight would just declare Izuku the winner, and of course the pedestal thing, All Might would kind of almost hesitate giving Izuku the #1 medal. Tenya isn't there because, I mean, to be fair, actually, yeah, Tenya isn't there because, he went to pursue his brother. Apparently, his brother got hurt. So, yeah, All Might is very hesitant in giving Izuku the #1 medal. As when he looks at Izuku, he sees all for one. Gives Izuku the medal when Izuku snaps his fingers and says, "Hey, All Might, I don't want to rush you, but you've been standing here for 30 seconds. Just give it to me, please." As All Might would then, give Izuku a medal and try and do some speech about working hard, doing your best and stuff like that. And yeah, the sports festival is over. Everybody packs their bags and everybody leaves. Izuku goes home. Inko was very proud of him, and thus, the mega meal and stuff like that. That does not matter. What matters is what's going to happen tomorrow. Matter of fact, we're going to cut to tomorrow. As I would explain, basically, because of Urban's performance in the UA Sports Festival, people get requests for internships. Basically, it's kind of it's more of a training thing than anything. It's not your real internship. This is more of a pre-internship. You know what I mean? Kindergarten level, first grade level, Basically, they're going to be there for training and getting stronger. Izuku, of course, get the most requests, and even people who don't get requests will still get an intern. Now, Izuku actually, the request that he finds that would actually stand out the most is Endeavors, and unless he takes it up. So does Todoroki. Izuku and Todoroki in Endeavor's agency, and Endeavor will explain that basically, they're gonna go to Hosu and do some stuff there. And that's what we're gonna be ending off this part. I hope you guys enjoy. If this gets 2 likes, I'll do part 5 tomorrow. Hopefully. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to keep a schedule. I just got a new microphone, I had to set it up, and family was staying by, so I couldn't be in where I normally record, my room, basically. But since family was staying by, I didn't want to record my living room at the end of the night. So, thank you for so much for listening. This is me, Modi Fade, signing off. Modi Fade signing off.